North Korea trashes its neighbour, literally. Welcome to Mark and Pete. Here's a thought.
A litter bug is like an unsocial slug that leaves a trail of trash. Looking smug, they transform and shrug, then simply fly and dash. Well, North Korea has gone to another level. Yes, it seems to have upset many of his neighbours, but particularly South Korea, by dropping over 260 balloons carrying, yes, rubbish in the form of waste, filthy waste, and many other detrituses. But the fact of the matter is, the South Korean military have cautioned their public against touching such balloons because they actually apparently contain also toxic waste. Clergyman Pete, I must say, North Korea's foreign policy is a bit rubbish. What say you?
Yes, yeah. Well, I mean, there's a tradition with people in diplomacy crapping all over each other. So normally not literally, though, as we said in the title of this show. It does seem to be very childish, doesn't it? It's just
It does.
Well, I have to say, it does shine a different light on Donald Trump, former U.S. president's relationship with the North Korean leader, because he managed to begin a friendship with him, to be able to work with him, by first insulting him in a childish manner, calling him Little Rocket Man, that sort of thing, because of the stupid suits he wears, and making fun of him being fat on live on camera on another occasion as well. It was it shows that he does, and of course he really is a dictator there. So the policies of, for example, dumping trash would have come from him, or at least had his approval.
Oh, yes.
And so, look, what you're seeing is a very childish, schoolyard way of running diplomacy.
It does seem so. Ironically, it's not unique. Because, as we now know, when we look back in history, North Korea and South Korea were actually quite adept at frequenting scattering of leaflets and other rubbish on their respective borders. And this was obviously in the major conflict in the 1950s. But here's the thing. What's happened is that although North Korea sort of decided to do this in recent times, South Korea have also decided to retaliate. Now, whilst that North Korea decided to put detritus in their balloons, what do you think, Clergyman Pete, South Korea put in their counter balloons?
Was this when was it? When did they do this?
It's relatively recent, since the dropping in recent weeks of North Korea's detritus.
Well, they're more likely to put some sort of information like leaflets about how terrible North Korea is. I think it's going to be leaflets.
Yes.
That's my guess.
Banned media for certain. They ironically put cash, strangely enough.
Okay.
And this is a good one, because obviously, with the economy being what it is, choco pies, which apparently a South Korean snack banned in North Korea.
Clever.
But it doesn't end there. There were USB sticks containing Korean pop music and also music videos.
I'll do it.
Well, obviously.
That would make,
put the fear of God into every North Korean.
Having to listen to K-pop would make me surrender, exactly. I'll tell you.
Well, it does make you wonder, where does it end? So, I have to ask you, so maybe you could ask it even with our listeners, which is, what is the next balloon content that is likely to be sent back to the respective borders?
Yes, do leave us a comment and let us know your ideas. But it does seem that they've really, they've done the trash and all that sort of thing. They should think of some. I was thinking maybe you could, in places like North Korea, you'll have wild dogs roaming around. You could tie them to really big balloons and make sure they have rabies or something, and drop them over South Korea. Wild
you're
rabid
giving
dogs.
People ideas. Okay.
I think that would cause. snakes, that sort of thing.
Yeah, rats, maybe. Here's a good rats. One. How about this, which will put the fear of God into all South Korean? They actually package up, put into a balloon Kim Jong-un and drop him over. That would be quite devastating if it landed. I wonder what they would do. Yeah.
But here's an interesting thing, though. When Donald Trump was visiting Britain, they put some protesters protesting of him just visiting. A really weird idea. But they put up a Trump baby balloon.
Yes.
So a naked Trump in a diaper or nappy, as we would call it.
Yes.
Now, what they should do is, South Korea should do this. Send this to North Korea with Kim Jong-un, or however his name is pronounced. As a baby with a big full steaming nappy, big balloons of him, and he's rather rotund as well. I mean, more so than Donald Trump. So I think that would be quite amusing, and I'm sure he would be very offended.
Well, I think he probably would. Now, here's a piece of guidance.
If that's what you're going for.
Well, I agree. But here's my guidance to any international traveller. If ever you're offered a balloon trip, either way, please decline it. Because you never know quite how it might end. Yes, but I agree with you. It's a very childish thing to do. But more importantly, there is a serious side to it because, of course, whilst toilet paper, cigarette butts and rubbish has been certainly content that has been used in the past, once it starts to get to biochemical substances, it gets very, very serious. And the inconvenience of trash is one thing. But once it could start really jeopardizing human life form, animal welfare, and even the environment, it could get very serious. And you have to ask yourself, is there ever a situation where the bad neighbour relationships can ever be resolved? This now has been rumbling for decades.
Well, maybe not, but what I would say is better dirty nappies than nuclear bombs. It's I think it's a sign that they're not going to escalate. They're just trying to insult each other into I don't know, being in a strong position in negotiation over things. There doesn't seem to be, the problem is, to your point of how will it ever end, there doesn't seem to be an end game for what North Korea wants.
Yes.
Or South Korea. They don't seem to be both trying to actively take over the peninsula. So what are they doing? What is the end? Couldn't they just get on and be friendly?
Well, I wonder whether there's a lesson learned here, which is that whilst this is all very childlike, maybe the rest of the world could consider that. Why not scrap all nuclear weapons, all serious rockets, missiles, and gun warfare, and just work on the principle of detritus balloons, and just that, I think, surely would probably be a better world to live in, wouldn't it?
What I'm saying is what I would say is the equivalent in other countries. Obviously, this just seems childish to us. But if you work on the basis of it, that this is a form of negotiation, if you don't stop, basically what North Korea was saying, if you don't stop propagandizing, as you were mentioning earlier, we'll keep sending rubbish over you. It's a way of upping the ante without actual violence. So in a way, it's a good thing.
I wonder what our listeners think.
Well, after our insight, yes. Do let us know, as I said earlier. Leave a comment, and remember to subscribe, because there's another episode coming every week, and sometimes more often than that, so you don't want to miss out on one. But after our insightful analysis this time, I'm sure you'll be coming back. Thanks very much for listening, but for this week, it's goodbye for Mark and myself, and catch you next time.
I can see a balloon in the sky.
Doug, run for cover.